Well, welcome to the 700 Club. The Pentagon is deploying more troops to the southern border. It's one of many moves by President Trump to tackle illegal immigration.
Well, the administration is also warning state and local governments there will be consequences for failing to comply with its immigration policies. Dale Hurd has the story.
The Defense Department is sending at least 1,500 additional active-duty ground troops to the southern border in what may be only the first wave of several deployments. About 2,500 troops are already there. In his first live interview on Fox News, Trump defended his aggressive response to illegal immigration.
This was a gross miscarriage of common sense to allow people to come in. And I believe the number is 21 million people, and a large percentage of them are criminals. Prisons from all over the world have been emptied out into our country by Biden, allowing it to happen.
Meanwhile, 22 state attorneys general have filed suit to block Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship. Congress ratified the 14th Amendment after the Civil War, which stated that all people born in the country were citizens. It was aimed at establishing full citizenship rights for Black Americans who suffered under slavery. A Justice Department memo warns that state and local governments will be investigated if they fail to comply with the new immigration policies. Trump also warned he might cut federal funds to sanctuary cities.
The president's been clear, I've been clear, that right out of the gate, we're looking for public safety threats. ICE agents are out there doing that now.
The White House has also lifted the ban on immigration arrests at churches and schools, a change in long-standing immigration enforcement policy. At Tuesday's National Prayer Service, Bishop Mary Ann Buddy asked Trump to have empathy for marginalized people, including undocumented immigrants.
They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President.
However, the head of the Family Research Council, Tony Perkins, a pastor, defended ICE officers entering churches.
I mean, a church is a safe haven for sinners, but not a safe harbor for rapists and murderers. But if these churches are being used to house and to harbor murderers and rapists and other criminals that are here illegally, I think the government has a right to go in and remove them.
The House Wednesday passed the Laken Riley Act, named after a Georgia nursing student who was murdered last year by a Venezuelan man who entered the U.S. illegally. It requires the detainment of unauthorized immigrants accused of theft and violent crimes. 46 Democrats joined Republicans in passing the first bill the president signs. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Well, let's hope for common sense to prevail. Let's also hope for civility to prevail. One of the instructions to ICE is please use reasonable means. And so in that, do you really want to interrupt a church service in order to get somebody out of a pew? And I don't think that's reasonable. So please don't do that. You can wait. The service isn't going to go on forever. And at some point in time, you'll be able to catch whoever you're looking for. I have always wondered, always is probably not too strong, but definitely the last 4 years, what in the world was on their minds to let the southern border be open? It makes no sense to me. And for now there to be this sort of backlash that we're going to create sanctuary cities and ICE is not going to be able to operate within our city limits, again, it just makes no sense. Either we enforce the immigration laws or we change them. I don't think the administration has an option. The laws were passed by Congress. They were signed by previous administrations. This is why we call it illegal immigration. So are you going to enforce that law or not? Right now, Trump is saying he's enforcing it. So, yay, he's enforcing the laws that are already on the books. In other news, a UN watchdog warns Iran is speeding up its uranium enrichment to near weapons-grade level. John Jessup has that story and more from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
That's right, Gordon. The head of the International Atomic Energy Agency said Iran is, quote, pressing the gas pedal, accelerating enrichment up to 60%, which is just a step away from the 90% needed for weapons grade. Critics say that can only lead to the production of nuclear weapons. Meanwhile, the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels are being redesignated a foreign terrorist organization. The Houthis have fired ballistic missiles at Israel and attacked cargo ships and U.S. military vessels in the Red Sea. President Trump issued an executive order to put the group back on the list after the Biden administration took it off. Well, here at home, a new fire is ravaging Southern California. Firefighters are trying to maintain the upper hand on the huge and rapidly moving wildfire sweeping through the mountains north of Los Angeles. More than 50,000 people are under evacuation orders or warnings. The Hughes fire broke out late Wednesday morning, spreading at 30 acres a minute. In less than a day, it charred nearly 16 square miles of trees and brush. Well, 40 miles away, firefighters in Altadena are still working to fully contain the Eaton fire, which has destroyed more than 9,000 buildings. CBN's Paul Petit shows us how Operation Blessing is helping first responders serving on the front lines.
It's hard to look anywhere in Altadena without seeing destruction. Homes, businesses, a Jewish community center, all gone.
There's like a blowtorch coming through the city of Altadena.
Across the street from these burned-out townhomes is Fire Station 11, one of the very first teams responding to the Eden fire.
I took in those 3 days was probably the equivalent of a 30-year career.
Also on the front lines here, firefighters from Station 66, just up the road.
We had horizontal flames, so one flame is lighting a house next to it.
To say that firefighters in L.A. have been pushed to the limit is putting it lightly. What these brave men and women have endured over the last 2 weeks, physically, emotionally, and mentally, is even hard for a veteran like Captain Richardson to put into words.
It felt like we were at war, and excuse me. And, you know, exhaustion is something we deal with. We have to. It's part of the job, and we get through that just fine. But when you go 2-3 nights without sleeping, it starts to catch up.
Showing them gratitude is Operation Blessing's first order of business on this day. They delivered care kits, including everything from sunscreen to wipes to hydration shots.
We had a chance to pray with the firefighters as well. Everybody got together in a big circle and just prayed over them next to their fire truck, and it was a special moment.
Joining in that prayer, NFL wide receiver Andre Bocelli of the Arizona Cardinals.
I just think it's always important to give back, and you know, in time of adversity and hurt, that's the most important time to give back.
These much-needed supplies is just one more way Operation Blessing joins the rest of this community in saying thank you to these first responders.
I've got people that have lost their homes. They're coming up and thanking us in tears, and they're homeless, and they're thanking us. And I'm still processing that.
In Los Angeles, Paul Petit, CBN News.
Gordon, that line, feeling like they're at war, emotions still running high.
They're going to be running high until we get some rain. We need to pray for rain for Los Angeles, for California. These fires keep popping off, and it's all because everything is just so dry. And when you hear a firefighter talking about horizontal flames, it just puts a chill down your spine as to what those people are dealing with. But Operation Blessing is there, and it's there in your name if you're a member of the 700 Club. You're helping us, and you're helping the people of Los Angeles. You're helping those firefighters. We like to go to the first responders and say, how can we help? And specifically, how can we help you? If you want to be a part of the relief effort, all you have to do is call us, 1-800-700-7000. Say, I want to be a member. I want to be a part of this. I want to join the 700 Club. Just yesterday, we had some amazing responses to our January telethon here from Miami, Florida, 1,000 Club member going to $5,000 to founder. Apache Junction, Arizona, new member donor coming in at founder, $5,000. Nolensville, Tennessee, a 2,500 Cup member going all the way to Chairman Circle at 12,000. It's wonderful what happens when people join together. And when disasters strike, our motto is we strike back, and we strike back with love and compassion and very tangible help in their time of need. You can be a part of it by joining with us. Call us, 1-800-700-7000.